Okay, so what is the syllabus for the final examination means? Chapter 1, Living World. Chapter 2, Biological Classification. Chapter 3, Plant Kingdom up to Gymnosperms. Angiosperms is not there in the syllabus. And next, chapter 4, Animal Kingdom, complete chapter. And next, unit 2, chapter 5, Morphology of flowering plants, morphology of inflorescence and flower, and a description of only one family, that is Solanaceae. Okay, in the syllabus, root, stem, and leaf is not there. Fruit and seed is also not there in the syllabus from this chapter. And also semi-technical description of a flower, that is not there in the syllabus. Fabaceae and Liliaceae families also not there. And next, chapter 6, that is anatomy of flowering plants, is not there in the syllabus. And next, chapter 7, that is structural organization in animals. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, chapter 7, structural organization in animals. Okay, only animal tissues is there. Okay, types of earthworm, cockroach, and frog is not there in the syllabus. Only animal tissues is there in the syllabus. Okay, now that is. And next, okay, unit 3 complete syllabus is there. Okay, complete full. Okay, unit 3 complete. There are 3 chapters in the unit 3. All the 3 chapters are there in the syllabus. Chapter 8, cell, the unit of life. Chapter 9, biomolecules. Chapter 10, cell cycle and cell division. Complete chapters. Okay, there is no change in this syllabus. All the 3 chapters are there in the syllabus. And next, unit 4, that is the plant physiology. Chapter 11 and chapter 12 are not there in the syllabus. That is transport in plants and mineral nutrition. These 2 chapters are not there in the syllabus. Chapter 13, that is photosynthesis in higher plants. Okay, chapter 13, photosynthesis in higher plants. Okay, it is a full chapter. And next, chapter 14, respiration in plants, full chapter is there in for the syllabus. And next, chapter 15, that is a plant growth and development. Plant growth and development. In that, only the plant growth regulator substance, only that topic is there. Under this, we have got auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, ethylene, and abscisic acid. Only this topic is there. Okay, plant growth. Okay, plant growth and development is not there. Only the plant growth regulator substances is there in the syllabus. And next, coming to the unit 5, in human physiology, we are having chapter 17. Chapter 16 is not there in the syllabus. Digestion and absorption. Okay, chapter 17 is only, okay, from chapter 17 only the syllabus is there. In that we have completed chapter 7. We'll going to complete chapter 17 by the tomorrow. Breathing and exchange of gases. Okay, breathing and exchange of gases, complete chapter is there for the examination. Okay, after the class I will share this one. What are the topic is there, that one we can make. Okay now. Okay, anybody is having any doubt regarding the syllabus? In the group I'll share. Okay, no problem. Okay. Okay, then we'll go with the syllabus. Okay, that is okay. When you observe the transport of gases, we have come across there are two main respiratory gases, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, when compared with oxygen and carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide is having more solubility than oxygen in the blood. Okay, that's why the rate of diffusion of carbon dioxide is more when compared to the oxygen along the membranes that are separating the alveoli and the blood, and also at the tissues, also between blood and the tissues. Okay, that is and next, after exchange of gases at the alveoli and also at the tissues, okay, later the respiratory gases need to be transported to the regions where they are required, or where they are, or else they are, okay, where they are eliminated. So how the transport of gases will occur means, blood is the medium. Okay, blood is the medium of transport for oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, that is okay. In now, okay, as we are talking about the transport of gases in human, so what is the structure that is majorly involved in the transport of gases means, that is the blood. So okay, in the blood also in different ways, the transport of respiratory gases will occur. About 90%, okay, sorry, about 97% of the oxygen is transported by RBC in the blood. Okay, that means okay, through RBC 97% of the oxygen is transported, okay, from the lungs to the different parts of the body, and only the remaining 3% of oxygen is carried in a dissolved state through the plasma. Only the 3%, okay, 3% of oxygen is carried in a dissolved state through the plasma. Okay, that is how the oxygen is getting transported through the blood. And next, when coming to the oxygen, carbon dioxide, when you coming to the carbon dioxide, nearly 20 to 25% of the carbon dioxide is transported by RBC. Okay, nearly 20 to 25% of carbon dioxide is transported by RBC, whereas 70% of it is carried as bicarbonate. Whereas 70% of it is okay, carried as bicarbonate. Okay, and about 7%. About 7% of carbon dioxide is carried in a dissolved state through plasma. So 20 to 25% of the carbon dioxide is transported through RBC, and 70% of the carbon dioxide is transported in the form of bicarbonate, and the 7% of carbon dioxide is transported in dissolved state in a plasma. So like, okay, in this in different, okay, in the same, okay, that is so major part of the carbon dioxide is transported in the form of bicarbonates. Okay, major portion, 30% of the carbon dioxide is transported in the form of bicarbonates. Okay, through the blood. Okay, now that is so. Okay, that is what we can understand from here. And next, how the actual transport of oxygen will occur. Okay, we all know, okay, the color of the blood in case of human is red in color. This is all because of the presence of a red color pigment called hemoglobin, which is present in the red blood cells. Okay, in the plasma of, sorry, in the cytoplasm of red blood cells, we'll find a red color pigment called as hemoglobin. So hemoglobin is a red color iron containing pigment present in the RBC. Okay, why the, okay, hemoglobin is red in color means due to the presence of iron. a metal ion called iron is present, okay, heme, okay, the prosthetic group, that is heme, okay, and a protein part, that is globin. So iron, a metal ion called iron, and a prosthetic group called heme, and a proteinaceous part, that is globin. All these three structures together, it will form a structure called hemoglobin. And this hemoglobin is red in color. Okay. And next, oxygen can bind with the hemoglobin in a reversible manner to form oxyhemoglobin. So depending upon the partial pressure of the, okay, depending upon the partial pressure of the gases, the oxygen has the ability to bind with either oxygen and a carbon dioxide. Okay, depending upon the partial pressure. That means, okay, depending upon the partial, okay, if the partial pressure of oxygen is more, okay, the hemoglobin readily binds with the oxygen. Okay, if the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more, the hemoglobin can readily binds with carbon dioxide. That's why the binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin is a reversible process. It is not a irreversible process. It is a reversible process. Okay, whenever required, okay, it will bind, and whenever it is not required, okay, that is a okay, not required, we can say partial pressure. Depending upon the partial pressure of oxygen, okay, it will bind with oxygen, or if the partial pressure of oxygen is low, it will leaves the oxygen and binds with another molecule. Okay, now, so that's why for that purpose, the hemoglobin is binding with oxygen in a okay, reversible manner. Okay, and forms a component called oxyhemoglobin. When oxygen binds with the hemoglobin, it forms a structure called oxyhemoglobin. And each hemoglobin molecule can carry a maximum of 4 molecules of oxygen. Okay, each hemoglobin molecule, okay, can carry a maximum of 4 molecules of oxygen. Okay, now, so each, okay, that is it. So, and binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin is primarily related to the partial pressure of oxygen. Already I told you, okay, that is the binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin mainly depends upon the partial pressure of oxygen. Okay, that is a partial pressure of carbon dioxide, hydrogen ion concentration, and temperature are the other factors which can interfere with this binding. So when the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more, or if in the presence of H plus ions, if more H plus ions are present, and at the high temperatures, if the temperature of the body is high, at the time the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin is reduced. So what are factors that affect the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin means, the first one is partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and the second one is okay, hydrogen ion concentration, and the third one is the temperature, high temperature. Okay, there is a which will interfere with the binding, because when you observe the hemoglobin is having more affinity towards carbon dioxide rather than oxygen. So if for example, if a partial pressure of oxygen and the partial pressure of carbon dioxide are same, then the hemoglobin, instead of binding with oxygen, it will bind with carbon dioxide. That means from this what we came to understand means the affinity of hemoglobin to carbon dioxide is more. That's why usually we can observe at any place, okay, in all the places we can observe there is a more partial pressure of oxygen, then only the oxygen can bind with the hemoglobin. We can observe in the lung region, okay, towards the lung region, okay, towards the lung region, okay, the partial pressure of oxygen is 109, and the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is only 40. Even though that is there, but it is able to bind with oxygen, okay, carbon dioxide rather than oxygen. That's why that high difference in the partial pressure between carbon dioxide and oxygen is maintained, so that the oxygen can easily binds with the hemoglobin and get transported to the different parts of the body. So that's why. So the okay, what are the factors that affect the binding of hemoglobin with oxygen means, the first one, partial pressure of carbon dioxide, it has to be low. And next, okay, hydrogen ion concentration, H plus ions should be present less. And next, okay, the temperature has to be low. Okay, if the temperature is high, the binding will be so, okay, that is when a sigmoid curve is obtained, when percentage saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen is plotted against the partial pressure of oxygen. This curve is called oxygen dissociation curve and is highly useful in studying the effect of factors like partial pressure of carbon dioxide, H plus, okay, H plus ion concentration, etc. on the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. Okay, we can observe very clearly, ma. Okay, the curve here, the curve is showing the binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin with the increase in the partial pressure of oxygen, the saturation. Okay, that means okay at okay okay when the partial pressure is 0, the binding of hemoglobin with oxygen is very low, it is 0. As the partial pressure of oxygen gradually increasing, the percentage of saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen is also gradually increasing. And gradually, okay, it will be gradually increasing. And after reaching to a certain point, okay, we can observe, okay, once all the hemoglobin molecules are completely saturated with the oxygen molecules, even if you increase the partial pressure of oxygen, there is no further increase in the association of okay, hemoglobin with oxygen. That is called saturation point. Okay, and these when you observe here, if the partial pressure of oxygen and the hemoglobin is increased, now what happens? The curve will shift towards the left side. When the partial pressure of oxygen is more means the okay the partial okay when the partial pressure of oxygen is more means curve will shift towards the left side when you increase the partial pressure, okay, of oxygen. But when the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is increased, when the partial pressure of oxygen is increased, or when the hydrogen ion concentration is increased, or when the temperature is increased, then what happens? The association of hemoglobin, with okay oxygen will be reduced. As a result, the curve will shift towards the right side, because there is a decrease in the saturation point. The curve will shift towards the right side when the partial pressure of carbon dioxide and the hydrogen ion concentration or the temperature is increased. Okay, now, so that is so when the partial pressure of oxygen is increasing gradually means the curve will shift towards the right, okay, left side, and that is increasing. The saturation of oxygen with helium is increasing, and when the curve, okay, when the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, okay, hydrogen ion concentration are increasing, okay, then the association of oxygen with hemoglobin decreases. As a result, the curve will shift towards the right side, that is downwards. Okay, like this the curve will be, okay, because the saturation point will be decreasing. And if the partial pressure of oxygen is increasing, the curve will bend like this. That means it will shift towards the left side of the actual curve. Okay, now that is so. Okay, that's why the reason. Okay, in the alveoli where there is a high partial pressure of carbon dioxide, low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and a lesser H plus concentration and lower temperature, the factors are all favoring for the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Whereas in the tissues where low partial pressure of oxygen and high partial pressure of carbon dioxide and high H plus ion concentration and high temperature exist, the conditions are favorable for dissociation of oxygen from the oxyhemoglobin. So, whatever the factors that we are discussing, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, the partial pressure, okay, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, and okay, hydrogen ion concentration, and next the temperature, okay, all they are present at low. That is the temperature, okay, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide will be low, and the hydrogen ion concentration will be low, and the okay, and the Temperature will also be low in the alveolar region, which will favor the binding of oxygen with hemoglobin. After binding, okay, with the hemoglobin with the oxygen, now it will be transported to the tissues. After transporting to the tissues, in the tissues regularly cellular metabolic activities and the respiration, cellular respiration will occur. So regularly some heat is generated. So the temperature will be high and more H plus ions will be there, and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is also more. As a result, what happens? It helps in the dissociation of oxygen and hemoglobin, and the oxygen is left in the tissues, and it will bind with the carbon dioxide because the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is a little bit higher when compared to the alveoli in the tissues. That's why the hemoglobin binds with the carbon dioxide and results in a dissociation of oxygen and hemoglobin, and oxygen is made available to the tissues, and the hemoglobin now binds with carbon dioxide and which is transported. Okay, this clearly indicates that oxygen gets bound to the hemoglobin in the lung surface and gets associated at the tissues. So because of all these factors, what is happening means the hemoglobin, okay the hemoglobin, that means because of all these factors, the hemoglobin binds with the oxygen at the alveolar region, and the hemoglobin dissociates, giving rise to oxygen in the tissues. Okay, that is so every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver around 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues under normal physiological conditions. Okay, every 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver around 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues under normal physiological conditions. To in a normal healthy person, okay, 100 ml of blood, okay, 100 ml of blood, okay, will put, okay, 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. Okay, that is how the transport of oxygen will occur from the lungs to the different tissues of the body by association and dissociation. Association at the lungs and dissociation at the tissues.